Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make this lovely earring. I made this with these gorgeous beads that we got in our Curiosities box from John Bead. There's like 5 red ones. And let me enlarge this a bit and set the focus here. Yeah, so there's some red ones and some orange ones, and they have this gorgeous gold leaf applique on it. And you know what? I do gold leaf on like portrait painting, and it's so flaky. So I was a little concerned about these beads, but you know what? I've been trying to get this off and it will not come off. So it's clearly under a coating of some type of protecting element. So they're super gorgeous. They, to me, represent the kind of glitzy part of Christmas. And for sure, that's why the Curiosities box is called Glitz Mass. So this is number 5 of the box. I hear they're sold out. Yeah, so let's try and get into this right away. The idea was I wanted to bezel one of these beads. They're so beautiful, so they need to be kind of highlighted. And it just happened, somebody asked me in the comments if I could show how to bezel a large bead, and so here it is. So this is what I made with that, and it turned out so beautiful. And of course it's reversible, and the bonus part of this that's so amazing is, look, the bead still turns inside. I think that's hilarious, totally unintended, but looks amazing. So, and it doesn't take a lot to move, so if you're wearing it, you could be moving, kind of like glimmering, I guess. And yeah, so let's get down to brass tacks with this. You're going to need some Delica beads. I have these beautiful gold silver lined 11-0 Delicas from John Bead. I have my needle and my stop bead. You're going to need some scissors, of course. So we'll start with these. I'm going to try not to put everything out till it's time, because what happens, it gets knocked all over the place. So you don't need a whole lot. So we're just going to start a peyote stitch around the bead. So of course you need your bead. I'm going to use this green thread. You can use whatever thread you like to use. The holes are large. Normally when I'm using gold beads, I use green. I find it doesn't show, but I am seeing a little bit of darkness around the connection points in this design. So you might want to try clear instead. So you know what? We should do that now. Yeah, let's do it now. This way you'll know what to use if you're going to do one for yourself. So I'm going to use this clear crystal size 6 dragon thread. But if you have Miyuki thread or 1G thread, you don't have to have a nylon fused thread. Now I'm taking a little bit more than a wingspan of mine. Your wingspan is going to be different for sure. I would guess it's probably about a meter long. And thread your needle. So there's a few ways to start this, and there's more than a few ways actually, and there's lots of videos out there. If you do a search of bezel, bezeling a bead, you should come up with some. The one I'm going to do right now is going to be the first time I tried this one. What is up with this thread? I'm starting to get so annoyed with this. I find the fused thread, the ends get all shredded. That shouldn't be the case. So, okay, get your stop bead on. Okay, so here's the deal. You can start by threading your big bead on before your stop bead. Like, don't use a stop bead. And add your first set of beads, which is 16. But I'll tell you what happens is, this is unusual that the holes of a bead is large enough for this bead to go right through. So let me show you. Look at that. Right through to the mat. So if you decide to just thread your needle and then add your 16 and do your one side, come back around, add 16 to do your other side, you will be picking beads out of the middle. And that's what I was doing. It's so frustrating. So then on this one here, I tried where how did I do that? I know what I did. I tried if I put less beads on. So I tried 14 beads on one side, tied a knot, and then did 14 on the other side, and then come around and add the 2 extra on each side to hopefully it wouldn't fall in. They still fell in. So I'm going to try putting a stop bead. If you have a trick to stop this from happening, please let me know. But that's the first. Us beaders, we're always looking for beads with large holes to do some, whether it's, threading them on leather and stuff like that. And it's funny to get one that has a large hole and you're like, no, where's my beads? So throw that on. I wonder if it'll go right over. I bet it will. This may not. Maybe I need a bigger bead. Oh, this is going to work, I think. You still have to watch the other side, so. Ooh. Okay, so let's try doing the 16. So that's what you're going to need, is you're going to need 16 to go around half. This is a 12 millimeter bead, so you're going to need 16 on this side and 16 on that side. However you put those on is up to you. Some people actually will just start their peyote stitch off of the bead and then surround the bead with it. This is, I feel, a little simpler in the sense that you're not having to position it and get the right tension. So let's go to 16 beads. Let's grab a whole bunch here. We have 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 16. So, and 6, I really do know how to count. You've seen me count. So there's your 16. I'm going to put my finger on that hole. Bring this down. And we're going to go through the hole where the stop bead is. Like that. And I'm going to tilt my camera so you can see what I'm doing. Pull that through. And I'm still got my finger there. You know what? This is going to work. Look. Perfect. Let's pull that there. And I'm going to enlarge this just a tick so you can see. So now we need another 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to double count. When you're doing peyote, so important to double count. If you do your double count at the beginning now, you'll be so happy. I never used to do that, and I always had to, like, halfway through realize I don't have the proper amount. So I haven't had that problem anymore. So there's 4, 5, 6, that. Pull that down. Bring those all the way down. And I'm going to put my finger on that hole. I was just ready to line it up. And I knew exactly those beads were going in that hole. So let's bring our needle around to the other side. And pull it down. There. So you can see that one's trying to get in there, but we're going to scoop that one up right away. Don't you dare. Little sneaky sneak. Just go through. We're going to go around everything and connect the two sides, and that will prevent those beads from going in as well. So let's just go through all the beads. Just double check my thread. I've got it folded over quite a few times, or quite a bit, so sometimes it knots up. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. To the last one here. Get my tail thread out of the way and go through these guys. This camera. It was out of focus. When I went to tilt the camera, I must have touched the screen, so it took it out of autofocus. It took it into autofocus. Okay, go through. There's that one was trying to get in there. I'm looking in the hole. I don't know. There looks like there's something in there. Nope. It's just the way that bead is. Of course, the next one's trying to get in there. Oh my god, it got in. Look. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try and poke it from the other side. There we go. Oh, there is one in there. So I was right. So that's weird, eh? Let me know if you've had that happen to you. Yeah. There's one in there. Son of a gun. Trying to grab it without it going in any further. This, let me just double check. I think that might have been from the other side. No. Okay. So now we're connecting this side. That's messed up. It does not like. I'm going to come back out. I'm going to see if we can, if it was from the other side. Like it came through all the way from the bottom. Yeah, that's from the other side. Okay, let me. I cannot believe this silliness. I'm gonna just tilt it so that it's on the other strand. It was there. That's what you should have. So at any point you can start doing your peyote. Probably a good idea to do it on one of the edges, but not totally necessary. I'm gonna just be safe and come to the edge. So we'll just go past the next couple like that. Okay, we'll start our peyote. Okie dokie. So, if you're not familiar with peyote, what you're going to do is you're going to pick up a bead. You're going to skip the first bead past where your thread is, and you're going to go through the bead next to it like this. And you're going to do that all the way around, and it's going to create this lovely effect, like a ladder effect, I guess. So there's two beads sitting side by side, like that. Pick up your next one. Coming out of here, you're going to skip that one. You're going to go through the next bead. You might have to use your nail to hold it in place. Doing a bead, bezeling a bead like this is wobbly because the thread's just going to go from side to side. The bigger your bead is, the more that's going to happen. But it's not a big deal. Once we continue with the peyote, we will tighten that so that it won't move from side to side. But that way your bead will still move around in the bezel, which is really kind of cool. So you have to let me know if you got your bead box and if you've made anything with it yet. I have a few projects on the go. So this one here, I was really excited about how the bezeling turned out. So it kind of looks like a mandala. If you look at these, intricate kind of circle or flower patterns. And so I was thinking of maybe a big necklace, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible. So earrings are the quickest way to do that. So let me just review if you're new to peyote. If you're not, you can pass this section. We're going to do, after this, we're going to start adding 8/0s. Let me double check what I have here. So I have one that's partially done. So yeah, so we're just going to do the one row. So if you want to skip ahead, go ahead. So you have a bead on your needle. You're coming out of this bead. You're going to skip that one. You're going to go through this one. That. And you see how it sits nice and flat. That doesn't look like it's in focus. Okay, next one. There's a bead right there that's kind of sitting in the hole. So we skip that one and we go to the next one. So this should sit right next to that one there. There. Like that. Okay, so we'll go a little faster now. Oh, I'm through 2 holes there. 2 beads. Let's come back out of this one. Like that. Pick up a bead, skip a bead, go through the next one. I need to extend my thread a bit. Pick up a bead, skip the next one, go through just one bead. Pick up a bead, coming out of here, skip that one, go through the next one. I think I might like the white thread better. I got into the habit of using green thread when I was doing gold things because I just found it disappeared in the... But this is kind of a light gold. And because there's sections we go through the beads a few times, you might see the thread. And I mean, you really have to look to see it. Here we go. I want to thank everyone for wishing my sister Sylvia happy birthday in the last video. That was so hilarious. It kind of just popped in my head. I'm like, oh, I should ask them to say happy birthday. So it was really lovely. Appreciate it. I'm going to tighten that in a sec here. I was just getting it out of the way. So coming out of this one, we're going to skip that one, go through this one. There we go. Pick up. I'm going to move this thread out of the way. There. So we're coming out of this one. We're going to skip this one. And we're going to go through this one here. Like that. Kind of see. But you can also go up to the next bead on an angle, which is our step up. And that's why I was saying start around your stop bead. That way there's no confusion where your step up is. And I only say that because when I first started beading, I did not understand what the heck they were talking about. Step up. I thought it was beading. I'm not doing step, what do you call that, step exercise? Stepper size or something. Okay, so we're done with the delicas. You could do this with other beads too. You can do it with round beads. I'll tell you though, if you're new to peyote, you probably want to use delicas. They fit together nicer and it's less frustrating. You won't get confused. So 11-0 check beads, gold. These are my last of my very first factory pack that somebody who lived a couple of streets over from a beading place, and she had a business account. She let me order stuff. That was so cool. Okay, so now we're using the round 11-0s. And we're just going to put these in the slots. When we're done one side, we'll go to we'll do one whole side. So we're going to do the 11-0s, then we'll do a row of 15, and then we'll move to the other side. The reason I say that is this way we can create tension all on one side. But again, that's a choice you can make, especially if you've done peyote a lot. So we're just filling in we're putting the beads in between the ones that are sticking out, like that. So I'm curious to know if people are busy with holiday preparations and family coming to visit. We, Jen and I are both orphans, so we don't really celebrate Christmas anymore. Do exchange gifts with my sister. Lots of beads. There's going to be some beads involved. It's going to be a beady Christmas. And I think one year we did travel before my parents passed away. We went to visit them and we stopped in Toronto and then headed off to Florida, and we got a cruise while we were there. So and that same year we did another trip and we visited Spain. So, but that was in May. But yeah, it's the traveling was not too bad during the holidays. I don't remember it being bad, but it's funny. When I was like 18, I used to go to Florida for the winters, and I remember one of the days I was coming back and it was Thanksgiving. Had no idea, like no idea. The busiest flying day of the year, and there was a airline strike. So needless to say, they got me on right away. I was really surprised. I was starting nursing school, so they were like really good. Like I would have got kicked out of the course if I didn't show up. So we told that to them. They were like, "Oh, we'll get you in right away." So they rearranged the booking. Okay, I wanted to get this stop bead nice and tight there so that it doesn't get loose on the other side. We could probably tie that off now that I think of it. But we'll wait. That's the problem. I'm going to loosen it just because I want this to be tight. So, okay, so step up. Hey, and that's another reason why I should leave it. Because I was like talking to you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, this is a tutorial. I was just testing you. See if you were paying attention. So I went through that final bead after adding this. So now you're like, oh, where do we go? Well, this is our next step up bead. And it's right after that stop bead. So let's go here. With that, I'm going to move those 11 O's aside, and we're going to put some 15 O's out. This type design too is fun because it goes fast. Okay, let's hang on to this and that. Okay, 15 coming out of here, and again we're just filling in the slots. That. We used to do a lot of road trips when we were young. My dad drove a lot of distance for work, so it never bothered him driving. So we'd go visit our cousins and grandparents and stuff like that up north in Canada. But funny thing is, I used to get motion sickness all the time. So I don't know how my mom dealt with it when we were visiting family, but if we were doing like short trips, we used to do a lot of Niagara Fall trips or like rent a cabin kind of thing up north and stay the weekend, that kind of thing. So if it was something like that, she didn't bother taking me. So she dropped me off at my aunt's house, and my aunt had two like older boys, and I was probably like 4 or 5. She used to carry me all over the house and rock me like I was a baby. She was like just loving on me like crazy. It wasn't until I was older I was like, hey, how come I've never been to Niagara Falls? I guess maybe a couple of times of me getting sick in the car, my mom was like, okay, we're done. You're going to your aunt's house. Very strategic. Honey, we're going to drop Em off on the way. I still get motion sickness. So when my wife mentioned she'd been on cruises before, when she mentioned going on a cruise, I am like, I have no desire to go be somewhere where I'm going to be stuck with a bunch of people, crowds, and be motion sickness. And she's like, well, why don't we try it out? Okay, so this is the last one on this side. So I'm going to go through a few. So I'll go through the 11 here, and then the 15, and then I'll go back through the 11 and 15, just to go through a few on this side, and then pull, and so it's nice and snug, and then we'll move to the other side. So yeah, so we did I think it was a 3-day cruise in Florida. So let's take a look. That's what it looks like so far. And it's like that. You don't have to pull too hard on the first side because the other side will need to be pulled, like it'll need to be centered. But I find that this bead is very forgiving for that. So I'm going to go through a few more. 2 there. There, nice and snug. And now I'm going to cross over to the other side. So if you look, my thread's coming out of here. There's an 11, a delica, a delica, a delica. So I'm going to go on an angle and come out one of the delicas that's sticking out. So let's go through here. And you should have no problem doing it all in one, like that. Move there, you can see it now. Okay, now we're ready to do the other side. So we're going to do the 15s, sorry, the 11s. I don't think we need this many. See what I mean? They're getting mixed up. Behave. I need those bead mats that Stephanie uses from Bronze Pony. They have like the little slots so your beads don't get mixed up. Okay, so thread. We are just going to go through and put an 11 in each of those slots in between the delicas. Now, be careful. The direction you're going is kind of awkward. So just watch you don't cross over your thread. So I go under the thread. I mean, you could turn it this way too. Might be easier. That. There's that bead that has a thread around. You're never going to see that at the end. Something's not right here. No, that's right. It's just because we've pulled it so tight that it's at the same level of the bead next to it. And I don't think this is a good idea. I can hear you. It's not a good idea, Emma. I'm going to flip it because it's it's awkward for me. Let's fill these in. That. And the next one. So there's so many ways to embellish this after. So it's kind of why I was working up on this one, because I thought, let me try something different. So if you're interested in stuff like this, let me know. We can do all kinds of designs. And like I said, we can do it into earrings so that it makes it a little quicker to accomplish. I definitely want to do some necklaces with these type of, embellished beads, but I have to work on some of my skills at creating designs to connect beads. And they don't lend well to doing it in a video. Like if I did one, then I could show you. But trying to figure one out on camera would be really boring for you guys, because it's a lot of taking the thread back out and going, no, that's not working. We're going to try something different. I saw a video, and now I'm terrible at remembering names. She is the founder of Trito Beads. I'm stepping up here. So let's take a look. So there's the slot. We're going to put the 11/0 round bead in. So I need to go through there and then through this 11. And then we're ready to put our 15s. I'm trying to think of her name. It's at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, she's the founder of Trito Beads. And she did a video. She released a video just recently on this technique that she has. And it is incredible. I've never seen anything like it for like connecting a bunch of beads into a bracelet. I was like, that's like mind blowing, because you usually see the same thing. People will do peyote or cubic right angle weave or circular herringbone to attach your beads. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, we're just putting in our 15s now. That's not too bad. So if I didn't talk as much, jibber jabber, this would probably take half the time. So if you're doing this at home, yeah, I just can't do it where like I don't talk. I find if I pause because I'm concentrating on something, I'm like, they're going to wonder what happened to me. I better keep talking. And you know what's funny? When I started doing videos, the first couple of videos I did, I was like, okay, this is weird. I'm talking to myself. And my wife would say, she'd walk by my office and she'd say, I was wondering who you were talking to. My peeps. My bead peeps. Now it's like I'm having a regular conversation. Especially because people are amazing at commenting. I really appreciate it, because that's part of why I do this. I enjoy talking to people. Even though I have so many subscribers, I still respond to all the comments. So, and usually within a day. If you don't hear a response, I think there's 2 beads. Yeah, there is. If you don't hear a response within a day or 2, definitely comment back, because I just noticed a comment from a couple of months ago and I didn't get the notification for it. I would have known if I'd seen the notification. So, and sometimes YouTube makes changes, so those things get missed. We're almost done on this side. 1 left. So let's go. So I'm going to go through the next 15 as well that I added, and I'm going to go through a few, and we'll get our tension in there. So it's nicely rounded. Look at that. Isn't this lovely? This is so nice. I'm surprised that this stop bead worked. I mean, I don't know why. That's what a stop bead's supposed to do. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple more here. There. And now I'm going to bring my thread into the middle. So let's take a look at what we have. So if you look, you have like this, you have a middle bead here and then two side by side. So we're going to get our thread into one of those middle beads. So this will actually work. So I'm going to start by putting my thread needle through that bead and then through this middle bead here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to add these crystals and some 11O beads all around the middle. So we're going to be coming out of one of these middle beads, separated by the two on the side. We're going to add an 11O, a crystal 11O. Then we're going to go through this middle bead and then come out the other side of that middle bead, and we'll be in position to put one. So they're very close. If you want to change this, you can separate it by more distance if you want. I wanted them all bunched up like this. So let's move these 15s out of the way. We don't need those. Let's get our 11Os and some crystals. So I will measure them. They should be, these are maybe 2 by 3. I say that like I'm asking you. Come on, who's gonna guess? What size is it? Spin the wheel, tell the fortune. If I can find my caliper. There it is. I have to go through and mark all my things. Three. They look like a bit of a rondelle, so maybe 3 by 2.5. That's exactly what it is, sorry. There's 2.5 and the other side was 3. So that's the size of that. This size is not that important in the sense if you have something close to this size, either smaller or bigger by like a millimeter, not a big deal. It'll still work. And like I said, if you're interested, we could do like all kinds of designs with even larger beads. I had even thought about doing mini duos and putting your thread through the one hole so that the mini duo sticks out, and then coming around and putting embellishments around the open hole and things like that. So there's lots there. So we're going to pick up, of course I have these on the wrong side, 11O, a crystal, and an 11O. So we're coming out of this bead in the middle here. We're going to skip these two and we're going to go through this one. That. And I'm just going slow to start so that it's not confusing. Okay, I do have information to tell you about crystals. Sometimes the insides are sharp, so I would be careful not to pull too tight, but just take your nail and maneuver your beads in place. Now, I would like the 11Os to all sit side by side, but as we start getting closer and closer, they're going to go off to a side. Again, that's, part of the aesthetic. It looks a little chaotic in a nice way. So 11O These holes are hard to find on these crystals. Crystal and an 11-0. Coming out of this hole, this bead here, we're going to go into this one. Then just get that. And yeah, so you see how that one tilted to the other side. And try and level that off. I'll tell you, I was making the other one and the thread caught on the crystal. I was like, I'm on the couch doing beading, right? Jen's pet peeve, my wife. She's like, are we watching TV or are we? I'm thinking, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm beading. Oh. So when it broke, I looked at her and I held out my needle with my broken thread and this on the other side. Like she has no clue what I'm talking about. And she's a problem solver. So she was a manager in IT. So whenever somebody came to her with a problem, she would have to solve it. She still tries to solve problems all the time. I'm like, no, I don't want you to solve it. I want you to say, oh, that's terrible, Emma. I want you to feel sorry for me. Just keep going to putting these guys all the way around. I'm going to go a little faster. Hopefully I don't get my thread cut. So you are seeing a bit of the thread here, and trying to orient these properly is just probably a waste of time. So we'll see how this turns out with the white thread at the end. Now, I think if you had Nymo thread and you had like a light brown color, this you probably wouldn't see it. There. There, it's turning out nice. Oop, I need my 11. There. So big thank you to John Bead for putting together these bead boxes. This is so cool. That is turning out lovely. I was trying to come up with a design for the star wire form that they included in the box. And let me know if you've done these before. I had a large one and I did it. It was pretty interesting. But I found the space in between the two bars was so great that it just looked weird to me. So I did try to do like a bead weaving in between the two bars to create like a snowflake effect. And I haven't come up with a design that I'm really happy with. So, I may come up with something later. I feel like everything's the build up to Christmas and there's just no time. We're there. So, but we did a few holiday themed items, so that's great. And those just happened organically. So it was kind of nice. The pine bough earrings, holly berry earrings, is getting a lot of views. I was noticing that YouTube was pushing a lot of holiday themed making videos, and so I wondered if mine would be included, and I guess it did. Okay, this is the last one. Oh, we have one more after this. So it gets really, really tight in this spot. There's the needle come through for that one. One more. Okay, so we're going to go through this one here. So we're actually, I think we're maybe crossing over one, but not a big deal. As long as we fill that slot so it doesn't look like there's anything missing. So, like I said, this could be all you need to do to it. You could maybe go through the crystals and just put like an 11-0 in between each of the crystals all the way around to finish it off. But we're gonna get all fancy. I'm looking at my thread. We'll continue till we need to add. So our next step is we want to add, we'll do it here because at this point here is a bit different because it overlapped. So if you take a look at here, I'm just wondering, did I add an 11-0 in between? Kind of looks like I did. No, I didn't do it there. No, I think it's this one just looks like that one. I may have added that when I added this peak. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is in sets of 3, let's move these out of the way so you can see what I'm going to explain to you. So in sets of 3 crystals, you're going to come out of one of the crystals. You're going to go over the next crystal with 7 beads, 11 O's, and then go into the next crystal. And I'm just looking here. I think I just went straight through to the next one. We'll see how it looks when we get there. This turned out so lovely. I just did this, so I'm still kind of like, oh, look at what I made. Okay, so we need to go through a crystal. So we are coming out of the Delica here. I'm going to go through the very next 11-0 and crystal. Like this. Oh, it's loose, eh? I guess it's the beads just going up and down the strand. There, like that. Okay. And we're going to go all the way around, adding 7 beads to every other 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we're coming out of this crystal. We're going to skip this one. We're going to go through this one. And actually, we're going to put our thread through the next. Yeah, I think we need to add I'm trying to decide. You know what? I think it's 15 O's. That's way too big. So let's get out here. And I went through the thread. I'm going to have to take this off. There's no point trying to back out of that thread. It's, I think it pierced the thread. Okay. Let's get me a tray here. Pick these up. Get another tray. Bring these guys over. And we're going to need some more of those. Okay. See if we can get this back on without too much trouble. Okay. Pick up 7, 50 nose, 7. Okay, you're going to skip the next bead and go through this one. See, I think, yeah, I put a bead in between. Okay. I need to make notes. Okay. So you're coming out of that bead. We're going to add a bead in between because we're going to go to the next crystal there, like that. Add 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip that bead, go through this one. And you see what's happening when you pull it, it's going behind, not a big deal. Just leave them somewhat loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we need 1 bead. I heard you this time. Emma, you gotta add a bead. I'm so glad you guys picked it up so quick. There's your 1 bead. That. 7. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip the next bead, go through the next one, crystal, add a bead. That. Pick up 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip the next crystal, go through that one, add a bead. That. Pick up 7. That. Skip the next one, go through this one. So this is where I was saying the count is a bit wonky. So really we should be adding a bead here and then going to the next one. So for this one here, we're going to pretend like this is, we're coming out of this bead, we're adding 7, going through this bead. And that's what created this piece here. So there was 3 beads close together. So I just changed and added a little kind of embellishment to make it look normal. Okay, so let's add 7. Go through this bead. Now we're going to go through 4 beads that we added at the beginning. No, we're going to go through 3, sorry. Okay. We're going to skip a bead and go through the next 3. And then we can advance to the 3 on the next one. And what that's going to do is it's going to make that pop. So looks like this really cool embellishment, like a flower petal. So skip the next bead, go through the next 3, go through your crystals, and then 3 beads like that. And it just pops that up. I'm just trying to get that. There. Skip the next bead, go through 3. And I'm going to go through the crystal, through the single bead, and then through the crystal, and then through the next 3 beads. Like that. And you can take your needle and pop that bead up, kind of coax it up like that. Go through, skip that bead, then go through 3, go through your crystals with that single bead separating and back through 3 of the next. And look at that, popped right out. Skip a bead, go through 3. Now we are ready for the next element. So now we've added the lovely petals. This one, I don't know, the tension must have been wrong on this one. It's not. Maybe we didn't do this one. Yeah, we haven't done that one, so let's do that one. So go through 3 beads. That. Skip a bead and go through the next 3. And then come out your crystal. That. There. That's what you have. Okay, so now we went through, looks like we went through those single beads, picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. This seems like a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14, 15 beads we should have. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go all the way around. Yeah, this is not correct. I need to be coming out of this bead here. So let's go to the next set. Let's go through here. We'll just advance to the next crystal. Go through the next 3. Okay. And this is, I think this is our one that has the weird 3 in it. Let's see how many we added here. Okay, so we're gonna go through that middle 11-0, or sorry, 15-0, and then add 15. See if I can Get my needle in between there. So probably easier when you're going through your crystal to come through that 15 at the same time. Okay, so let's try that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so you want to go past the 3 crystals and into this 15. So let me see if I can get my needle in there. Yeah, no problem. And let's get this moving here. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come back and we're going to add a peak to this. And we're also probably going to add some beads on the edges to kind of link them together. So let's, yeah, so we're just going through that 15. We're going to add 15 again. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're going to skip 3 crystals and just go through this 15. Let me move that down. We're going to need more thread. So right here. And just the 15. That. There. Okay, so it looks kind of funny right now, but we'll get it all. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're coming out of this 15 that's between the 2 crystals. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 crystals and then through this 15. Like that. That. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bring those down. We are going to go from here. There's 1, 2, 3 crystals. Yeah, so this is the wonky part. I think we're going to just go through here, through this 15. So like skip 3 crystals. So 1, 2, 3. Go through this 15. Like that. It's coming along. So let me check what I did on this one here. Let me flip it this way. I could probably see. I think what I did was I left a space and then added. But I don't see that if we skip 3, we're gonna encompass 2 of these. Okay. We need to skip this one entirely. So bring your thread through. And that's what I did. I came back and added it. So sometimes the numbers don't work. So now let's come out here. No, we're going to come out the 15s. So go through that one set. That, okay. We're going to add 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And jump over the 3 crystals. So this positions this right in the middle. And go through this 15-0. See if I can get my needle in here. There we go. I'm using a size 12 needle, by the way. So if you think of these as flower petals, you can really see it now because they're rounded. We haven't added that little peak yet. So that makes sense. And then when we come back around, we'll put that embellishment in between these 3, like over these 3 crystals like this. And that gives you an area that you can either add to this way. So you can add a clasp, you can add, if it was a bracelet, like this here, I used it as an embellishment for the top piece. Okay. We need to, so we're coming out of the 15 that's in between the crystal there. We are going to go count 7 and skip 1. Yeah. So count 7 beads, like bring your needle through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7. Because we added 15, we should have 7 on each side. So you're going to skip a bead. And actually what I did was I went to the Pico bead below, went through that, and then I went through the 7 on the other side, skipping a bead on that top line, and that should create that. Go through those. Look, it popped it up. And what that also does now, we don't have to go through a second time to make these sit together. Because like if you didn't go down into that Pico bead, one would flip one way, one would flip the other way. So that avoids that situation. In this section here, you have the opportunity to add a bead or 2, depending what you think it might need. But I'm just going to go through and see. So let's go through 7 beads on this strand. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. Pull it down. Go through the Pico bead from the bottom row. That in. Go through, skipping that next bead on that line up top. Go through 7 beads down here. And that should pop it up like that. So this is lovely. Go through 7 beads. 4, 5, 6. It doesn't want to grab that 6, 7. That. Go through the bottom row. That tip, that bead. Skip the next bead on the top row. And I apologize, this seems really complicated. I think sometimes, if I don't write, like this is a brand new design for me. If I don't write down the instructions, I have to kind of think, oh, what did I do? And I've been threatening to videotape myself working on stuff just so that I could play it back and go, oh, that's what I did. Instead of doing it in a video with you guys. Okay, so go through 7 beads. So that's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go through the bottom Pico bead. And then skip the next bead on the top row. Go through the next 7. That worked. So look at that. Oh, we didn't do it for the first row. I'm looking at it going, what's wrong with the first row? With the first little petal. We were still working through. So I'm just about out of thread on this. So I'm going to, we might as well do it because we're almost at the end. So I'm just going to go down and hide my thread. Do you know what? I have enough thread. I'm going to skip these 3 and fix this one here. And then I'll tie off. Let's go through. Like that. Go through 7 beads. 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm getting good. Go down through this lower one. Skip the next one on that top row. And go through the next 7. That, and look at that. We are almost there. Okay, I'm going to just quickly find a safe spot to hide my thread. That. Yeah. It's a little harder to... Okay, I'm between delicas there. I'm going to have to put this... You know what? I think I'm going to go back up and put it in one of the crystals. I don't like leaving it. I'm going to turn it and go up. Let's go through a delica. Now that everything's covered up, it's a little harder to... Here, let's go through here. Okay. We'll go up this bead here. Now I'm going to grab a thread bridge on that crystal. I don't recommend, creating tension around the crystal because it could cut your thread, but I didn't plan this very well. Let's go through the crystal and we'll go down the 11-0. Like that. And then we'll hide the tail through some of these delicas on the bottom. There. And get rid of that. We might as well get rid of our tail. Take our stop bead off. I would love to hit the pause button and come back. Maybe you should go get a cup of tea. I did that this is a new camera, and I was all excited that it had a pause button, and I did that, and when I unpaused it to come back to show you, I had ended up being 2 videos and the bad part about it was I thought the camera was recording, so I'm like jibber jabbering going on. The camera wasn't even on. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay. So this one seems pretty snug here, so I could probably just bring it through a couple of beads, tie a knot, and what's that saying? Barb's your aunt? Oh, that's my thing. I like messing up sayings. My wife, she's like, that's not what it is. Oh no, this is a French thing because I'm French, right? So I'm trying to pick up a thread bridge between the 11-0. Ooh, I got it. And the Delica. So we can hide that in there. 1, 2, bring it right. Snug down. There. And go through a few of these beads. And that is done for that one. So we have pretty much complete. Now we just need to add this little embellishment piece and attach everything. So let me see how many I put on this one. So there's 3. That's 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's wild. I guess it's 3. I did Picos. I did 3 Picos on that one. So let's get some thread Rooney. So in case you're wondering, these they're not quite ear wires, they're studs. I got these on AliExpress. They were in like the jewelry section. They're not in the jewelry making section. So they were $3 for the set. But you know what? When I got them, I'm like, why didn't I order more? They're so beautiful. But any ear wire would look lovely with this design. Okay, did I cut it? Yeah, I did. It was stuck onto the reel for some reason. Let's make that flat. My sister commented a long time ago, but mentioned, man, you're fast at threading your needle. I'm like, yeah, many videos ago. I had over 1,200 videos about a year ago, and I went through and I cleaned up. Some of the older ones were so bad. I was like, okay, I'm embarrassed. So So I think I'm under 1,000 now. But you can imagine having to thread. So I'm looking for a good spot to put this. Let's go through a few of the delicas. I wonder if this side's easier to get to. It is. So go through a few delicas, then make a knot. Normally, when I realize I need a lot more thread for a design, I will make sure I have enough. But because it was a video, sometimes having too much thread on your line it's just like this idea of pulling a whole bunch of thread through. So I was trying to save you guys the trouble. You see where I'm going now? It's a lot of trouble, Emma. And now I can't find a thread bridge here. Okay, let's move this out here. Yeah, I should be able to find it here. Here. Go through a couple of beads. There. And cut this one off. Careful not to cut anything else. That's not friendship. Oh, look. You think I had that planned? So let's see where we need to be. Let's go through these two here. And you can always go back and, tighten things through. But none of this is structural, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, I need 3 beads. So I'll probably be coming out of one of these. So let's go up this crystal here. Now let's go up this one. Like that. And we will, because there's a crystal on this side here. So let me just show it to you from this angle. We're going to go through this 11-0 or 15-0. There. Okay. Add 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And we're going to skip 1 crystal, 2 crystal, 3 crystal. So we're going to come out of this bead here. It's 15-0. Like that. And we're going to go down and go all the way to the other side. We're going to use this lower one to do that. Go through those 3 and the crystal. That. Go through the 3 and the crystal. we can go straight up into the other beads. You don't have to come out of that 15-0. There. Okay. Let's try it this way. So you're going to go through 3 beads like that. Skip 1 bead, go through 3 beads. That. And you can see it's popped that one up already. Skip the next one, go through 3 beads. And this one's going to need a little coaxing. We'll get it in the right direction. I guess we could have, let's do that. We'll go through that little one there so that on the bottom row. So I'm going to go back out of those 3 here. Okay, pick up the lower Pico one. That way we'll be in position with the other. Skip the next bead and go through 3. That. Pull it so that that bead pops up. Look at that. And let's make it tighter so the other one's nice and popped up too. There, they're both popped up. Okay. Skip the next bead, go through the next 3. There is your embellishment at the top. So we are going to add a 4mm pearl. These are Swarovski bright gold, they're called. And we're going to add one of these 6mm Swarovski crystals in between. And then our ear post. These crystals, they're so lovely. Fire opal. They're amazing. They're one of my favorite colors. So now we need to be coming out of this bead here, the middle bead. So let's go back through the crystal and through the 3 beads on the bottom row. Like that. Thank you for hanging in there. You know, I mentioned sometimes that, you know, when I do a longer video, it must be boring for you guys and stuff. And I get really positive comments. People are like, no, I want to make sure I don't miss any of your funny stories. And they appreciate the time and effort. So thanks for hanging in there. You know, if I spent more time organizing and stuff like that, you'd never see any videos. So I feel like I just need to turn the camera on and go. So sometimes that's how it works out. And sometimes like everything hits right. I have enough of thread and all this stuff. So I appreciate you for hanging in all the way to the end. So that's how I've attached. Now I'm going to go through. These are closed loops, which is great. So just go through, bring my thread through like that. So now I'm going to go back through the pearl, the crystal, the pearl, and I'm going to look and see, okay, so my thread's coming out of this side of that 15-0. I'm going to go to the other side. And what that'll do is it'll position everything center. So I'll just pull everything through and you can see my threads all just hang on to the furthest thing you've attached and pull your thread and it will straighten everything out. Look at that. How easy is that? I'm going to go through one more time. I might do it 3 times for this. I'm not feeling confident about this thread. I have to start weaning myself off of the nylon thread because I have to get it from the States, and it's like the duty on it's ridiculous. So I'm and I don't want to buy it from the fishing line store, the fishing store. These are very serious problems I have here. I'm joking. It's a joke. So now what I'm going to do before I go through it one more time is I'm going to go through the lower bead as well. Now, if you're really concerned, you can bring your thread down and around some of the bigger beads and then go back up, but I think it's fine this way. This is lovely. So I'll go through here. And find the hole. There. Oh, there's a knot. That's never good. I get so excited. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We were so close. Let's see if I can pull this back out. There, I think I got it. There. Don't go down, and we will tie off. There. I am gonna come through here, through these beads. Let's go through. There. And I'm gonna go through these here. Tighten that. One more time, and we will put a knot in it. Like this. And tie that off. And that is it. And there are, oh, these are lovely. Oh, look at that. So we have, if you received your curiosity box, we could make a few of these earrings. As soon as I saw these beads, I was like, these are incredible. So big thanks to John Bead for this lovely inspiration of beads. And yeah, I'm guessing these are vintage beads. I'll have to get some more information on them, but I am just in love with them. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.